a sparsha. A sparsha has to be done, and that always our culture has been doing this. Bringing out the divinity, bringing out the goodness of the people is in fact the psychology of our people, of this great country. We have always not brought any evils before the public, before the people. We have always brought out what is good in the people. That goodliness has to come out. Now many things traditionally we have been doing, and it has got its own impact. All those traditions cannot be discarded. That is old, it has become old now. Let us discard that. Let us try to embrace now new things which are happening in our country, in our society, in our universe. Not necessary to think in this fashion. Whatever has been taught to us by our ancestors has something to understand, has something to take from that. Why we insist in lighting of a lamp when such function is there? Why do we insist? We have enough light here. All this electricity has provided. Our government has been very kind to us to give us electricity. The nature has been very kind to us, give us its solar light. But still in a function like this, we start a function, begin a function with the lighting of a lamp, and that too of oil. It has got separate meaning in this. The emissions from this light cannot be matched with the emissions of this light. Whatever that has been propagating cannot be propagated by this light, artificial light. Years together, even before God, when we sit for a puja, we have ample light in our house. We put a bulb there, we put tube light, we put now LED have come. We put that, but still we insist on lighting a lamp before the God in puja garden. That is because that is our psychology, and psychology is not just superficial. That is our thinking, that is our mentality, is not superficial. It has got some meaning. That is the reason why some emissions, you people are learned people and scholarly people. You must do some research over this. I remember one very great person who is no more now, had been to Goa, and he told me something about this. Why this lamp? It was a daylight everywhere, and still we light a lamp. Some people may have objection to it, but we have to propagate this thing because it is just not a superficial thing, just not a cultural thing. It has got some emissions, it has got meaning which reaches to our heart, to our physique. That is what has to be now research over that. Research is needed over such things. All this now we have this human psychology and yoga. What does it mean? Nanda Kumarji was referring to modern medical sciences. Modern medical, Western, particularly it is Western. What does they do? Do they care for every person? It is just not that. They take a whole lot and they do some research and they tell diabetes, other parameters are these parameters. Whether you have a different psychology, whether you have different emotional quotient, whether you have different things in your house, that doesn't matter. You are a human being. All parameters which have been established, tested and clinically tested in Western countries are to be applied in your country. And very blindly we try to apply that. All the parameters of diabetes, of blood pressure, or for that matter any other disease, they have been decided in their laboratories in Western countries. We do not know what sort of atmosphere they have there. Their atmosphere, our nature cannot be matched together. We have to have our parameters for this. Earlier to this, I was in Himachal Pradesh as a governor, and there a medical checkup was done for me. It is a regular checkup for governors. They do it. And when I went there first time, my parameters of medical physics were quite different there. I was coming from Goa, where the all atmosphere, all environment is like Kerala. Everything is there. Very high humid nature. And when you go to Himachal Pradesh, Shimla, the doctors were surprised. Sir, how it happens? You have come, the last month the parameters were different and now it is different here. Your blood pressure has increased here. I said, why? On what basis you say? They showed me the parameters. These are the parameters, this, and I said, did you test those things? Have you have any clinical analysis of this? No, we have been told this by our educational system. That is exactly we fault ourselves. We have to have our parameters, own parameters, considering our atmosphere, our environment, our psychology too. If we otherwise very blindly follow what they have been telling us, and then we have all those parameters and give all those medicines which are never necessary, they try to give us, and we very blindly eat them. Now our psychology has to be put into practice, and that psychology very configurates itself with yoga. We have to have yoga. We see, if your chitta and vritti, they are controlled as told by our scholars, that if chitta and vritti are controlled, you need not have any medicine. Medication is not necessary. We have to control our chitta, the vritti. And if we control that, where is the need for any medication? Medicine is not necessary at all, not required. But we have to have some connection, some relation with our psychology and with the yoga practices. We have to do that. That establishing is being done by this particular organization and this seminar. We have been teaching ourselves that this has to be there. And if we do not, then I think there will be a disaster for us. The disaster which Western countries are facing are knocking our doors now, particularly in the field of health. We have to have, see, I am not against allopathy or modern medicine. They have done some researches and we have also done some researches. All our Ayurveda principles or all the teachings are not baseless or experimentless. All during those days they must have practiced, they must have seen, they must have tested, they must have had some reports over that, clinical analysis of that time, and that basis has come before us now. During COVID, we have seen how Ayurveda has helped a lot of people here. After that, after the COVID was almost over, I had opportunity to read a report by Ayush Mantralaya in Delhi. And that report was saying that many patients who were supposed to be COVID affected have come out without taking any allopathic, a single tablet or single medication from allopathy. They tried only Ayurveda and yoga, and they came out of this. There are many clinical laboratory analysis. If you happen to read that, you will come to know. And it establishes some relation, not only some, it has a holistic relation between our mind and the yoga practice. Yesterday we celebrated, and we are very proud to say that this is the gift to the world, and we are proud of that. We have given this something to the world, another, as like Ayurveda, we have also given the yoga. That yoga has to be practiced in a better way. As mentioned by earlier speakers also, it should not be a superficial thing. That is our psychology. That we always don't do anything for self. We do whatever we do it for some other, for other people. After doing everything for others, we again have a psychology, we again think, idam na mama. This is not mine. This is for the society, this is for the people, this is for the nation, this is for the country and whole world. For whole people of Vasudha, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. I have done this, I have practiced this and I have put forth before you. Idam na mama. मेरा उस पर कोई भी अधिकार नहीं है. I don't ask for any monopoly or patent over that. I don't want any patent. The thing which has to be placed before the society, for the public and used to be public, why do I need patent for it? The patent concept come from Western countries. Why do we need that? We don't require that. Idam na mamati. Ye mera hai nahi. This is not mine. This is whole of this society, of the nation, of the country. That has to be used by all people. And that is exactly they find fault in us, Western people, and they try to capture all our innovations and discoveries. They want to capture over this. But we have to be very much, in today's competitive world and such world, we have to be very alert. Okay, if you are doing that, we will also do it to maintain that sacredness of our issues, our ethos, we will do that. And ultimately all our things relate to human beings, human. If human being is happy, that is the ultimate goal of our everything. Moksha is also for happiness. Any sadhu or sannyasi, his practices are to get ultimate happiness. Ultimate happiness. It can be termed in different ways. But ultimate happiness is required. And from where that ultimate happiness comes? From practicing the humanity. Humanity has been core thing, core discussion, core issue of our whole thinking in our country. Ages together. It was never overlooked at all. It was not sidelined any time. And that humanity has to be preserved at any cost. Many a times I narrate one story. It is not in fact story, it has happened to me. I told you I was in Himachal Pradesh as a governor. And I was traveling from Shimla to some other place called Solan. And along with me was my ADC. We were traveling in a car, in a vehicle. It was about 2 hours journey. So we were discussing many issues. My ADC asked me one question. Sir, he was talking in Hindi. Sir, मैं आपसे कुछ पूछना चाहता हूँ. I said, ask, what is there? I also was getting bored to see same things again and again. So I asked him, बताओ क्या, what you want to ask me? He asked me, sir, how to become a good politician? I was a little bit taken aback. How to become a good politician? Nowadays, these two words, good politician, are just the opposite words, isn't it? Good and politician. Is there anybody something like this? Politician and good are opposite words. I asked him, I don't understand your question. So he also kept quiet. After some time, I recovered myself because in earlier assignment I was a politician, so I could recover back. So I recovered back and asked him, what do you want to ask exactly? Tell me. I will ask you one more question. I told him, is there anything called good IPS officer? Is there anything called good IAS officer? Is there anything called good judge? Please forgive me, sir. Is there anything called good judge or anything called good lawyer? Anything called good chartered accountant or architect or an engineer? He could not answer. I said, I will answer this. There is nothing called good judge. There is nothing called good lawyer. There is nothing called good politician. Nothing called good IPS, IAS officer. To be a good judge, to be a good lawyer, to be a good chartered accountant, to be a good IAS officer, basically you have to be a good human being. If you are a good human being, you can be anything, good anything, even a good politician you can be. But heart has to be a good, in heart, humanity has to be there. And that is exactly what our culture and tradition is targeting. Be a good human being. Yoga practice is for this. It is not only for my body or physique.